Hiya, my name's Carolyn and I work with ReMode Youth to promote the reuse and recycling of textiles within Renfrewshire. For this year's Small Shot Day, we've put together some ideas of quick and easy craft activities you can take inspiration from to decorate your windows. First up, I'm going to make a Paisley pattern stained glass style window hanging. Did you know that the Paisley pattern didn't actually originate in Paisley? The teardrop or floral motif known as the bota is of Persian origin and the textile designs are originally Indian. At the beginning of the 19th century, an English trading company called the East India Company began importing the shawls, and by the mid-19th century, due to the huge scale of shawl production in Paisley, the pattern was given the name and production in Europe had decimated the indigenous industry. It's important for us to acknowledge and learn about the history behind this iconic pattern, as well as to celebrate its beauty and Scottish legacy, which is what we'll be doing today. So to start our stained glass, draw a teardrop shape with a curved upper end onto card. I used an old cereal box. Don't worry if you don't get it right first time, it took me loads of attempts until I was happy. Once you're happy with the shape, draw around the inside with a roughly 1 cm margin. If you have one, you can use a ruler or something else with a straight edge, maybe another cereal box, to draw lines across, dividing your teardrop into sections. Carefully cut round the outside and use the scissors or a craft knife and cutting mat if you have one to cut through the middle sections. Be careful not to tear the cardboard here. If your cardboard is light coloured like mine, you might want to paint it or colour in the shape in a darker colour like a traditional stained glass window, or use your imagination and paint it a bright colour. Once dry, take some scrap fabric, this can be an old piece of clothing, a pillowcase, a curtain, etc., or any kind of paper, and draw around the outside edge of one of the sections, using the teardrop as a template. Use your scissors to carefully cut round the line you've just drawn. I've chosen this William Morris inspired printed fabric, which is an offcut from a fabric donation at ReMode. Using glue or a stapler, stick your fabric down to the back of your teardrop. Continue until all the sections are filled and then trim away any excess from around the edges. You can then use other fabric or paper to decorate the edges of your teardrop by drawing round the outside curve and cutting it into a decorative shape before gluing it down. I then continued to work into the design using bold pens and paint before using some magazines to collage the word Small Shot around the outside. Your teardrop is now ready to stick on your window in celebration of Small Shot Day 2020. Another decorative idea could be to show off your favourite item of clothes. It's really simple to do and the main focus is your garment, so the bolder the better. To get started, draw a speech bubble on a sheet of paper or card, similar to the one that you'd see in a cartoon. Cut around it carefully. Draw or use collage to write a description of why you love this garment. Maybe it was a gift from an old friend, or maybe you made it yourself. Mine is a t-shirt that my best friend embroidered. To do the collage, I cut letters from a magazine and glued them down. It's trickier than you think. If you like, you can doodle around your lettering to add some interest. I drew a needle and thread, as this is how embroidery is made. How was your garment made? Is there something you could draw to show this? My paper was thin, so I backed it with another layer at this stage. Carefully cut round the outside and you're ready to go. To display my garment, I made a pretend washing line from some fabric scraps and hung it at my window. I then pegged my t-shirt to the line and stuck my speech bubble in beside it, so now everyone can admire my best friend's embroidery. For my last Small Shot Day decoration, I took inspiration from the weavers of Paisley and used an old pair of jeans to weave a scarf. First of all, using sharp scissors, cut off the leg of an old pair of jeans or any trousers you no longer use. Please get help if you need to. Iron them if needed, it's best if the fabric is nice and flat. Fold the fabric and cut slits about 1 inch wide along the entire length, leaving a few inches at either end. This is the warp, the backbone of our weave. Measure the length of your piece of denim. Gather some fabric scraps, you could also use paper, and cut it to the same length as your denim. Then cut it into roughly 1 inch wide strips. How many strips you need will depend on the width of your denim, but if you don't cut enough, you can always go back and cut more. We've just cut the weft. You can also rip your fabric along the grain line if it's strong enough. This will give a nice frayed edge and add some texture to your weave. To start weaving, take strips of fabric and slide them over and under the slits you cut in the denim, alternating as you go. This is similar to the job weavers in Paisley would have done all those years ago, although more likely by machine. Continue weaving each strip, alternating between fabrics as you go to build a pattern you're happy with. Remember, if you began weaving a new piece by going underneath the denim, begin the next piece by weaving over the top of the denim. This gives your weave stability and also looks great. After you're done weaving, you can use ribbon, thread, wool, shoelaces, beads or anything else you have to hand to work into it a bit. Why not experiment with what you have in the house? Turn your finished weave over and glue down the ends of the fabric to keep them in place. Once dry, you can snip into the ends to give a more authentic scarf look. And you're done! You can add some collage elements if you like, or leave as is. So these were my 3 simple window decoration ideas. I hope you're inspired to create your own small shot themed windows. We're really looking forward to seeing what you come up with. Please share them with us by following and tagging us on social media. And please come visit us when we reopen.